What's up, everybody? Chris Lee here with Everyday Finance 101, first official content video. And so what I wanted to start with today is just the most basic thing that I teach all of the high schoolers and anyone that comes to me for financial advice is tracking your spending. So this is like the intro to budgeting here, but the initial video that I want is just tracking your spending, and that's what we're going to talk about today. I do this in a very basic way. I'm 28. I've done this for really since I've been working. And so graduated college about 21. So the last 7 years, it's worked really well for my wife and I. And I just wanted to share that with what I teach, what I practice, and that I think it works in a good way. There's a lot of different areas you can go here, but I just kind of want to share what we do. And then more videos will kind of detail the budgeting process overall. So from a very simplistic view, just going to minimize this, put this over here. So we use what's called the spending tracker app. It's this little brown wallet app right here that I got pulled up. You can get it on the App Store. You can get it on Android, iPhone, whatever. It's free to use. Now it's very, very basic. Not going to sugarcoat that. I know there's so many different tools now that you can use that pull from your bank account, that pull from credit cards and compiles a list and kind of like inputs data that way. But there's a reason that I like the simplicity of this, and I'm just going to share that with overall how I view tracking spending and how I think that most people should. You're going to get a lot of different opinions here. People are going to say, hey, if you make enough money, it doesn't matter what you spend as long as you don't spend over what you make and you're saving. Sure, I guess there's that train of thought. I'm just operating a little bit differently, and so I just kind of want to share that with you. So I tell all my students, all my friends to download this spending tracker app if you're serious about finance. And so what this app does, you download it, it's free. And when you do that, you're going to get kind of a screen that looks like over here that I got pulled up on the right. Again, very, very basic. And what this kind of looks like is that you just add your expenses and you add, if you want, your income. Now, for Tess and I, what we do is we just add our expenses in this. And so for me, every single time that we go get gas, that we spend money on food, that we have a bill, whatever, it goes into this app. I know that seems like a lot of work, but if you think about 2025 and people being on their phone all the time, whether it be social media or whatever else you do on your phone, I think that it's pretty easy if you care about finance to track your spending. Again, I know that there is different apps and you can pull up your debit card, your bank statement, whatever, and it shows all the transactions that you did. But I think as we get along this financial journey on this YouTube channel, you're going to see that you spend a lot of different money in different places, whether that be different debit cards, credit cards, whatever it might be, cash. And so having one stop where it pulls in all your data that you record is really, really important. Again, I know there's tools that can do that from multiple debit cards, credit cards, things like that. But I'm going to explain in a second here why I like this one the best. To just kind of like reiterate here, in this spending tracker, you can add different categories. Let's see if I can zoom in here. So you can add different categories, and then you can also add in or look at your transactions, and it's by month, and then it kind of gives you whatever your categories are. So literally after I've set my categories, I just add in the expense. You then can enter in the amount. It already does the date for you if you do it on the date. And then eventually it pops up into here. So again, this is me just trying to show you the most simplistic form that I think you should start with if you are going to get serious about finance, and that is tracking your spending. I think there's no other place to start, to be honest. That's where I do it with my kids, the students that I have in class. And this is, to me, day one stuff, okay? To reiterate or to go over why I believe, again, my opinion, that I think you should use this simplistic form is that I'm just going to use Google Sheet for it, blank Google Sheet. So let's say that, okay, you're starting to get into this spending tracking thing. Let's just use, I don't know, Starbucks, for example, okay? So let's just say it's, we'll just use today's date, 5-4-25, right? And let's say that you go to Starbucks. So I'm just going to put it over here. So let's just say that we go to Starbucks and we spend, I don't know, $10, whatever. Okay. So this was our transaction, right? Now, if I go and pull that from one of these apps that auto pulls it, it'll probably pull it into maybe an eating out category, maybe a coffee category, whatever. My problem with that is that let's say that you bought a friend something at Starbucks. When we get into the nitty gritty part of budgeting, you need to break it up so you know what you're spending on each transaction if you have different dollars going different places within the same one item transaction. So for example here, if part of this Starbucks transaction, let's break it out further. Let's say that this same $10 here, so I'm just going to highlight the same $10. Let's say that 5 of it will go, my drink was $5, okay? And then a friend's drink was the other $5, okay? Very basic. So my issue with this, like I just said, is that any app that you use is going to pull this data and say, hey, this $10 is what you spent at Starbucks. Yeah, you did spend $10 at Starbucks. But the problem is that you don't know if maybe this friend's drink area you would want to count as a, and I'm going to put like the spending category so you can kind of like see what I'm talking about here. The problem is that let's say that when you go to Starbucks, you've decided that that part of your budget is called your eating out or coffee. So I'll just put like eating out / coffee budget. Okay. Now the other $5 you might not want to be in the eating out coffee budget because this was a friend's drink. This was not what I spend all the time. This might be a gifts category for you. Like you were giving a gift to a friend. So this is example number 1 of why I don't like these apps that kind of pull data all in one. I like the apps that actually, or I like this simple app, the spending tracker app, like I talked about, this little wallet one, that is very basic, that allows me to go ahead and break out this transaction however I want. So if I go back here, I'm going to zoom in. I go buy coffee today, May 4th, 2025. I would add an expense, $5 to eating out or coffee, and then I'd add $5 to gifts. And that is how I would break out this first spend. Another example, okay? Let's just go tomorrow, 5-5-25. A lot of people, this is a Sunday today. I don't know when you're watching it, or if anyone's watching it. But let's say you go to we'll go to Costco. My wife went to Costco today, and so we'll just kind of break that up. So Costco run, right? And let's break this out. Let's just say it was like $85 at Costco. Okay, whatever. Now, some of the apps are smart enough to go ahead and break that out. Just like Costco's receipt, you can take a picture of the receipt, and then it might kind of break it out in certain categories. So for example, an app might be good enough. I'm going to highlight this again so you kind of know what's going on. So I'm going to put the spending category one again. We're just going to go up and copy that, bring it down. So the app might be good enough, whatever you're using, to go ahead and say, hey, this receipt that we pulled or this data that we're inputting, we know that you bought dog food at Costco and that was like $35. We also know that you had again, we'll go like a shopping category. So this might be like, I'm going to put like shopping / like food. Maybe you spent like, I don't know, again, just making up a number here, $40 there. And then maybe you did bought some like toothpaste or something like that. And so then it's going to put that. Maybe it'll even put toothpaste in a cosmetics category. And so that might be the other $10. Okay. So yeah, there might be apps that break it up like that, which is awesome. That's kind of what we're going for here. The issue again is you're banking on some kind of software knowing exactly what your categories in your budget are. And again, I know this is basic spending tracker app, day one stuff. This is what I do, but I just don't like having some other item decide what my categories are and what in each category these are going to, and just relying on that straight up for all of my finance. I just don't. I'm OCD. I'm type A. I don't like that kind of relying in that area. And so for me, yes, it could break it up like this, which would be awesome, but not if that's not your budget categories. So I'm just going to delete this and I'm going to go, okay. So my wife, again, going to get a lot of flack for this probably in general. Wife comes back from Costco. I get the receipt and then we kind of say, okay, what are the different categories? Again, we're going to talk about this so much in the future. It's not about saying, hey, you can't spend this, can't spend that. That's a whole nother combo we'll have. This is just data entry. So I get the receipt from Costco. Okay, maybe we did spend, $35 on dog food. So in my category that we have, which I'll show you, that would be the puppy category. And so on our dog, we spent $35. I know that's the puppy category. Or actually, we're gonna kind of do this backward. Dog food, puppy would be the spending category that I would put it at in the spending tracker. That's how that would go. Okay, coming back here. The next thing, we'll just stay on the same kind of vein here. Let's say that we got, what did she get today? Maybe some yogurt, okay? And I think what else did we get? I don't know. Just put some random like popcorn or chips or whatever. So we got some random food. Okay, let's kind of stick to it. I don't know what I had. I think I had $40 there, but we'll just stay with me. That $40 to me, that is part of our shopping category. Shopping for me just means groceries. Okay, that's what that. I mean, I guess I could put that for you, so you guys know what's kind of going on in my head. Grocery shopping, and then that last $10 that we talked about. Let's say that I needed toothpaste. Okay, so we're gonna go toothpaste again, and I'm married, so a little bit different here. But we're gonna go. That last $10 is gonna go in a Chris Cosmetics category. So one transaction for both of these, right? Starbucks for $10, but I had to break it out between eating out and gifts because we bought a friend something, if that was your thing. And then Costco, again, one receipt, but I broke it out between the puppy, grocery shopping, and my cosmetics. Now, yes, there's going to be a ton of transactions like the next one I can do, 5-6-25, whatever, where we go to just gonna make up a gas station, Shell gas station. You spend $50, whatever, and then the spending category. If I go here, highlight this green so we can just stay consistent. The spending category for Shell gas, yes, it's just gonna be okay. Again, I guess it's kind of depend here because I break ours up with mine and my wife's just so that we know who's we're spending on what. But you'll see that in the future. But let's just say Chris, go again, fuel. And again, I'm just copying that $50. This category would be Chris gas. So the point, what I'm trying to get across here, Finance 101, that's what this channel is about. The first thing I tell my students, the first thing that I would tell anyone that is serious about finance, where I think this is a lot of work but useful, is to download this spending tracker app. That's free. You don't need anything fancy. You make sure that every single dollar, every dollar that you spend, you actually put into this app in some area, okay? You add the expenses, you make sure to track it, you figure out what categories that you like, and then you actually go ahead, and I'm gonna make this bigger here because we're gonna kind of like end out here. You go ahead and you track everything that you spend. Yeah, I know it's a pain. Being wealthy is not easy, and making sure that you know where your money is going is step one, basic finance 101. So that is kind of this first overview lesson. Don't know if anyone will ever watch this, but that's okay because these videos are for me and for my wife if she ever needs help in the future with things that aren't making sense. And so that is the first thing that I would recommend to anyone. First thing I recommend to my students, we do that day one as soon as they walk in the class. You track your spending. Yes, it's some work, but it's okay because we're on our phones a lot. And so we can go ahead and do that. And so that is kind of like our day one stuff. I don't know if it'll come across here. Probably not. If I like pull up my phone. Oh yeah, it does. Okay. So on my phone, right, got a little finance section there. Pull up the spending, and then when I go to the transactions tab, it's going to be crap because of the light. whatever, we'll figure that out. I'm just starting out on this YouTube thing. But anyway, on the app, in the transactions tab, I have a crap ton. You can kind of see it that way, right? Maybe there or something. Anyway, a lot of different transactions that we record every single time we spend something. I put it in there. I've done this for 7 years. It's not that hard. Once you get the hang of it, you get used to it. Especially if you're married, whatever, you say, oh, my spouse doesn't want to do that. You're over controlling. It's not. When you're financially on the same page, it makes life a lot easier. I hope to show that throughout this channel, but this is day one stuff. Make sure to track your spending. You can use different apps that you like. I'm just recommending a free one that I use that works for me. Again, works for me. But on our financial journey, it has helped out. You're going to see that eventually. And so I hope it might be something that can help out some other people. Hope you enjoyed this first lesson content video on tracking your spending. A lot more to come. We're going to start this budgeting chapter. Hopefully you can get a lot of videos out there for you. And hopefully you kind of enjoy just some honest content on everyday finance. And that's what we're about. Hopefully have a good rest of your night. Take care. See you later.